The lives of all these children were changed by plastic surgery. A few years ago, Inside Edition viewers met this little girl who was born with a facial tumor.
They handed her to me, and I think I just went into shock at that point.
I had about a minute of panic, terror.
Joe and Jennifer McGillis live in Montana, but traveled to New York City to seek help for little Sloan.
Hi, young lady.
They found vascular surgeon Dr. Milton Waner. Sloan was diagnosed with a non-cancerous tumor that was affecting her nerves and facial muscles.
I'm going to remove all of the tumor. My intention is to realign the face. There will be a little incision right under the eyelid. There will be an incision between the cheek and the nose. It hides very well.
On surgery day, Sloan's parents were anxious for their 10-month-old.
Do a good job, okay? Do a good job. I love you. Yeah. You be a good girl.
Mom Jennifer was able to stay with Sloan until the handoff to the medical team.
I love you so much.
Dr. Waner began by mapping out Sloan's muscles and facial nerves so as to avoid damaging them.
We are going to go ahead and remove this tumor.
The procedure took 5 hours.
We've removed most of the tumor. The smile muscle is intact.
Sloan was wheeled out of the OR and brought to her parents.
I love you.
For being a tiny little baby, she handles it all amazingly. She's not scared.
But Sloan's journey wasn't over. The tumor was large enough that it required several surgeries over the course of a year. She had her second surgery at age 14 months. This time she was walking and got a trip to an American Girl store.
I think I saw half a smile there.
She even got to meet ESPN anchor Hannah Storm.
I was born with a port wine stain, and it was all above my eye and below, and when I don't have makeup on, I still look like I have a black eye.
Hannah set up a foundation that provides financial support to families like Sloan's. In 2017, at almost 2 years old, Sloan was back at home in Montana, and the transformation was profound.
A miracle, a chance at a better life.
When Murphy was born, his lower lip was unusually swollen and his chin was discolored.
My initial thought was, nothing's wrong.
But over the next several months, Murphy's lip continued to swell.
They didn't know exactly what it was.
Ultimately, Murphy was diagnosed with a venous malformation. That's a non-cancerous collection of improperly formed blood vessels. His mom, Kim Morgan, said people would stare at her baby.
They think something's happened or that he's fallen.
Murphy was given injections used to treat varicose veins. They reduced the swelling somewhat, but his lip was still larger than normal. To fix it, he needed surgery. It was an emotional decision for his parents.
Everything we've gone through, Murphy is still perfect, no matter what.
The family traveled from their home in Arkansas to New York City.
All right, mister.
To meet with Dr. Milton Waner.
We'll figure it out. We'll fix it.
On surgery day, Murphy and Kim headed to the OR.
Okay, Mom, give him a kiss. There we go.
It is our little boy, so, there's in the back of my mind, you're always worried, but he's tough.
Dr. Waner began by marking Murphy's lip.
I'm going to remove a segment of his lip here to thin his lip down.
Next, Dr. Waner carefully removed the malformation. It took 2 hours.
Everything went perfect. Really good.
We're ready to see him.
And Murphy's parents were overjoyed to see him.
It looks good.
Yeah, results are wonderful. Absolutely amazed.
In 2015, Gage Berger was in first grade, but dreaded going to school on account of what some kids would say about the size of his ears.
That I look like an elf and that I have weird ears.
His parents shared some of the things they'd heard.
You have elf ears, and, look at his ears, and people will giggle.
I just don't want to be made fun of.
He just gets really down on himself, and he feels like he's not good enough.
Gage's parents worried what the bullying would do to the boy's self-esteem, so they went to see plastic surgeon Dr. Stephen Mobley in Salt Lake City for ear surgery.
How you doing? You nervous? You okay?
Dr. Mobley showed Gage and his family what he would do.
You don't have that nice little inner tubular part, so we're going to recreate that.
For moral support, Gage brought along his stuffed tiger, who was also getting ear surgery. His parents reassured him too.
You'll wake up, and then it'll be done.
Gage gets a kiss and heads off to the OR. Dr. Mobley explained why a procedure like this is important.
They often get some not so nice name attached to them at a young age. They call them bat ears or elf ears. And that name sort of sticks with them throughout later middle school, high school.
The surgery began as Dr. Mobley marked where Gage's ears would be pinned. Next, he removed the skin from behind his ear and used stitches to pull it back closer to Gage's head. It took about 2 hours.
Are you ready to see your new ears?
Yeah.
2 days later, the bandages came off.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Gage had an ear-to-ear smile.
I think that looks really good.
Here's the before, and here's the after. Looking good, Gage. In 2019, there was a surprise party for a 9-year-old boy who was given a big boost. Simo Meko got to wear a Flash costume and have pizza with friends just weeks after undergoing a serious operation. Simo was born with a rare facial cleft that left the 2 sides of his face unaligned. He was starting to lose sight in his right eye. He was also having trouble breathing. His mom, Lisa, says he was also getting bullied.
It was heartbreaking.
Enter pediatric plastic surgeon Dr. James Bradley, who took on Simo's case pro bono. Dr. Bradley spent 6 hours in surgery to reconstruct Simo's face. Dr. Bradley is one of only 5 doctors in the world trained in this procedure.
We started with an incision ear to ear. We removed this bone here. We then removed the central portion of the face, the abnormal portion, and brought the face together.
The results were striking.
The first time that I looked at the mirror, I looked good.
Indeed, Simo returned to school triumphant, and Inside Edition even threw him a surprise party at Comet Pizzeria in New Jersey.
There you go.
The brave little boy got a few presents too.
No.
His family hopes his story helps inspire people to treat others with kindness.
Just because they're different, they shouldn't be treated different.
Here's to that. This is Inside Edition Digital.